Hello everybody, welcome to Apocalypse Movies. I am Jacob, joined by Brian today, and this is the show that you may have known previously as the Movie Watching Challenge, but it is officially now going forward. You haven't seen what? That is the name of the new show. So I'm sure you'll see some new artwork up and everything like that. We just decided to make it a little more fun. Actually, Jake thought of the name, so there you go.
Credit to Jake.
So here we go. If you haven't watched this show, what we do is we challenge each other to watch movies. Last week, I had challenged Brian, and I had challenged him to watch The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan, knowing that he doesn't like horror films, but turns out that he just doesn't like gore in horror films.
Pretty much.
It wasn't that
challenging
no
for
gore.
you. Yeah, no.
But you still avoid horror movies overall.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. Just not my thing. I don't find it appealing.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
I do like a good scare.
Yeah.
I just don't like a slasher.
No, I understand. I see where you're coming from. I do like horror movies, and I'm not even like a diehard horror fan or anything like that. I just really appreciate a good horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like The Conjuring is great and terrifying. Well, that's what this show's for.
Yeah, well, eventually probably.
Yes, so I challenged Brian to watch The Visit by M. Night. So, what are your thoughts on that film?
Definitely not what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a lot different than what it was, and for the most part it was pretty
You think it sucks?
boring. Yeah. It was pretty boring.
Okay, that's fair.
I will say though that maybe the last half hour or so I was into it, but so basically once we got the reveal that they're not the kids' grandparents, everything up until that I was bored out of my mind. I could have cared less what was going on. The second I was watching it and heard, those aren't your grandparents, I was like,
your ears peaked up.
I was like, oh, stuff's about to go down. And then I started getting really into it. But that first hour or so, I couldn't have cared less.
Okay. I respect your opinion. I do think you're insane, though, because I love this movie. But I do see where you're coming from, because for me, like for you, the movie's not good until that moment, and you think it's enjoyable from that moment on. Like it has something going for it from that moment on. That's what I'm getting from
Yes.
you. For me, like I like the movie, and then once that moment happens, I'm like, oh damn, like I really like this movie. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
But yeah, I kind of challenged you. I challenge people to movies that obviously that I like, or movies that I think would be interesting for them to watch. I challenged you because of the horror element and because I really like this movie.
That's my other takeaway from this. I would not classify this as a horror movie.
Okay.
It is not, in my opinion, a horror movie. It is a thriller, maybe psychological thriller, like suspense. I do not see this in the slightest bit as horror.
I see where you're coming from.
I see horror as blood or people that are just messed up. I mean,
yeah, but
granted, they're messed up.
Horror is not just like violence and gore, you know? Horror is like atmosphere and
I don't know,
like creepiness.
It was more scary.
So the grandma wasn't creepy at all to you?
No, I mean, she was definitely creepy, but
Like,
again,
what about the scene under the house? That was terrifying.
Yeah,
like
again,
I would be. If I was
creepy.
one of those kids, I would be scared out of my mind.
Again, but for me, that would be more of a thriller.
I see what you're saying.
Suspense.
Like, and it wasn't even like she was chasing you with a knife. It was just like
she was just chasing the kids.
It's like you knew she was just trying to scare you in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. For me, I love this movie because like these kids, they go on this vacation, right? They don't even know their grandparents, and like we think that those are really their grandparents.
Yeah.
And then they start dropping all these little hints about like how their dad's not around, how they lost their dad, and about the kids' personalities. And then those little hints pay off in the end with the way the movie ends and how they
and
fight
the grandparents never wanted them to talk about their thing. So
exactly. And I just like how you think that it's like there's like a supernatural element to it, like I
did think that
they're creatures or ghosts or aliens or something possessed by demons, right? But comes to find out, like no, they're just insane from a mental hospital, and they were patients, or their real grandparents volunteered to help out there, and they actually snuck out, killed their grandparents, posed as them.
Yep.
So I just love that whole concept, and then the way like they end up facing the fake grandparents and like killing them or fighting them, whatever, was just dope to me.
I will say, looking back on it, the premise and the story is pretty dope. But
I think maybe the way, and it worked for me, but maybe for you, the way they told the story didn't work. Maybe they should have just done traditional movie instead of like a found footage film.
Yeah, that might have actually played it. I did not think it was shot like that. I thought it was completely like a
regular movie.
Movie, so that did catch me off guard when I first saw that. So
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from.
So
and
yeah,
I did like how the girl was like making a movie, basically.
Yeah, that was
and that's
clever.
how this came about. You know what I mean?
Clever, yeah.
Will you say it's like better than a lot of M. Night Shyamalan films before that? Like, because he was on a terrible.
I would love to tell you, but I have never seen
any of his movies.
Pretty much,
So you've never seen. Well, the thing is, the good ones were The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs.
And I haven't seen any of them.
And then he did like the last Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Didn't see
and
it.
he did like The Happening? The one where like Mark Wahlberg's running from the wind and the trees are like killing people.
No, didn't see that. I've seen Glass and
he did a movie called Lady in the Water, which is considered one of the worst movies of all time.
I remember that one coming. I remember all these coming out. I just never saw them.
No, so like all three of those movies were like straight garbage, and then he came out with this, and it was kind of like a comeback for him. Like he didn't actually make a bad movie.
Yeah, everything like almost got like spoiled for me, so then I just never watched it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So
okay, so there you go. Probably the worst reaction we've had to a challenge film, but no, that's good because the thing is with this show, and everyone's not gonna love everything that you challenge them to. You know what I mean? Like it's impossible, and it shouldn't be the case. So Brian, the name of the game is to challenge people to watch movies. So you're up next. Who are you challenging, and what are you challenging them to?
I am calling out Mr. Keith Barnes. I have yet to challenge him. And I am challenging him to one of my all-time favorite movies. I obviously am known to like the movies that are pretty unconventional.
I bet you no one's going to even see what's coming right now.
No,
it's going to be some movie that a lot of people would never have on their top 10 list.
Yes. And this is one of those movies that anytime I see it on, I will watch it. And that movie is Joanna Man. It is a
goodness.
Crappy trash movie that is just fantastic. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It is so bad that it's good.
You know it's bad.
Oh, 100%. It is so bad, but it is so good at the same time. I love it. It's got Vivica Fox in it. And it's a decently old movie, 2002.
Yeah,
so,
I remember it I remember it being on TV when I was younger, and that's where I watched it.
First time I think I watched it was on TV on like Comedy Central.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. And then I just remember them like being at her house a lot, and him like trying to be her friend as a girl, but then falling in love. Well, we're not gonna spoil the movie for you guys.
It's absolutely horrible, but it's horribly awesome.
Yeah,
I love this movie.
I would maybe agree. I haven't seen it in a long time. But wow. So, I think Keith is going to hate this movie.
Oh, 100%.
But I think you did that on purpose.
No, I wouldn't say I did it on purpose.
Keith has diverse taste sometimes. He might come back and be like, you know what? I really liked it. So I don't know.
I'm expecting to come back and hear it. This movie was absolutely ridiculous. That's what I'm waiting for.
It's going to be like either straight trash, terrible, the worst movie he's ever seen, or it's going to be like, for some reason, he's going to like it.
Yep, we'll see. I'm excited.
All right, well, there you go. Keith, you have not seen Joanna Man, so Brian is challenging you to watch Joanna Man, and that'll be our next episode. Keith Barnes watching Joanna Man, and him challenging somebody else who's not Brian. A little new rule to the show is we're going to have two people on the show now, just for better flow of conversation, and the person who was just challenged can challenge anyone, even if they're not present, obviously, anyone on the Apocalypse team other than the person who just challenged him. So that is the rule going forward. And that'll do it for this episode of
You haven't seen
what? And yeah, just let us know in the comment section about The Visit. What did you think of The Visit? If you've seen it, do you think Brian's crazy? Do you think I'm crazy for loving it so much? And what do you think of Joanna Man? Do you think
spoilers.
It's a classic like Brian does, or do you think it absolutely sucks like probably most people do? All right, thank you all for watching. I'm Jacob. This is Brian. See you all next time. Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocalypse Movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocalypse Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.